5 underrated 70s American classic cars that could skyrocket in value. While many 70s American classic cars come underpowered, choked by emission control, there are a few overlooked gems in there too. When it comes to the American automobile industry of the 70s, underrated is the first word that comes to mind. Most 70s American classic cars, post 1973-74, came deliberately underpowered to tide over falling prices, the gasoline crisis, and stricter emission control. All in all, this brought malaise to the muscle car trend, and it seemed that back then, the world wanted economy cars, but in muscle car dressing. Many of the 70s American cars were sheep in wolf's clothing, milking their muscle car legacy for better sales. That said, they jetted a lot less power and performance than their 60s counterparts and brethren, but even among the many pieces of shiny glass, there were some true diamonds. So here go 5 underrated American classic cars from the 70s malaise era that could cost a pretty penny in the coming future and be totally worth it. 1970 to 78 AMC Gremlin. Average selling price: $18,589. Given the success of the Hornet, Detroit's smallest automobile maker, AMC, decided to chop off a bit of the back and debuted the 2-door hatchback, the Gremlin. While it mostly ran on inline 6 mils, there were a few V8-powered models in there too, especially the Gremlin 401 XR, a rare dealer-built 6.6-liter, V8-powered piece of insane speed. Despite many dubbing it ugly, the AMC Gremlin went on to become a cult classic with more than 670,000 units made till production ceased in 1983. It never reached the heights of success as its rivals, remember the Ford Pinto and the Chevy Vega? But it did have its set of loyal buyers, and today, it's gaining grounds as an unrecognized 70s hero when it comes to American classics. 1972 Oldsmobile Cutlass 442. Average selling price: $58,471. What makes the Oldsmobile Cutlass 442 an underrated American classic from the 70s is that its maker, the Oldsmobile division, is long gone from General Motors' repertoire. Unlike the Ford Mustang and Dodge Chargers, challengers of its time, the retro and somewhat stately looks of the Cutlass never got the limelight. That said, its name, so derived from its components, 4-barrel carburetor, 4-gear transmission, and 2-tipped exhaust system, along with the stunning 6.6-liter V8, made it a powerful muscle car. Sadly, Oldsmobile stretched it out to the 90s, long past its prime, and that tarnished its image, which is why the classic car market does not recognize this car as the gem it was. That said, those who read its specs and performance know its true value. 1971-72 Dodge Dart Demon. Average selling price: $41,502. So most classic car aficionados think Charger or Challenger when it comes to 70s Dodge cars. Frankly, they are right, given that these two cars have received plenty of love on-screen, like the Charger in Steve McQueen's Bullet, or the Challenger in Vanishing Point and Death Proof. That said, the Dodge Dart Demon, with a 275 HP V8 on a 3-speed manual, deserved some of that love too. This was a true pony car, small and stuffed with a V8 and the closest thing to what the Ford Mustang was, even if the Challenger and Charger ended up overshadowing it all its life. You can get this for a fraction of the price of a Charger or Challenger, and it will still give you many thrills, and plenty of eyeballs as well. 1970 Chevrolet Camaro Z28. Average selling price: $53,838. In 1970, just before automakers stripped down their muscle cars into near caricatures, Chevrolet brought out the Z28 Camaro, a far cry from the latter Iron Duke version. Of course, the Camaro Z28 was not a model line but a special trim, which carried the LT1 engine of the Corvette. Retuned, this V8 cranked out 360 horsepower and 380 pound-feet of torque in the Camaro, as a last muscle car hurrah before things went south for the next decade or so. For a 70s American classic car, the Camaro Z28 is still a less talked about gem in the market, given its average selling price of roughly $50,000. Things do seem to be on an upward trend for this stunning piece of automobile history, as they should. 1978-79 Dodge Lil Red Express. Average selling price: $27,364. Much before Ford even dreamed of a performance truck, and even before GMC debuted the Cyclone, there was the Dodge Lil Red Express. A rather loony-looking pickup, Dodge managed to make the Lil Red Express the fastest vehicle for 1978, exploiting a loophole in emission control. In bold red with gold accents and exhaust stacks, this truck screamed performance with its hypo 5.9-liter V8, jetting 225 horsepower, officially. Only 2,000 wore the 1978 badge. Another 5,000 came in 1979, but by then, Dodge had to cull power with a catalytic converter given the feds found the said loophole and corrected it. Given that the 78 model went a 118 miles per hour top speed, we expect it to take its prices along for the ride shortly.